One of the biggest reasons why so many traders are inconsistent within the market is because they are trading from a mindset of fear instead of trading through faith. So today we're going to talk about a story. We're going to read a story from the Bible that talks about what is the possibilities when you actually act out of a mindset of faith and not fear, and what happens when you fall back into fear. So again, how you guys doing today? My name is Joshua Johnson, helping you become more profitable and fulfilled within your trading and within your life, with biblical principles connecting you closer with God. And again, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about how trading out of fear, right? Trading out of the mindset of fear, out of scarcity, keeps us from the abundance what God has from us within the markets. And today, like I said, I'll be talking about in Matthew 14:22. Matthew 14:22 is talking about when Jesus went out into the waters up into Peter and the disciples that were in the boats, right? Before dawn. So at nighttime. So I'm just going to read it. I'm just going to read it for you guys, and then we'll talk about it. So immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he dismissed them, he went up to the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter said, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down off the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "Oh, you of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat and the wind died down, when those who were in the boat worshiping to him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Okay, so now we got that. Let's put ourselves in Peter's shoes for a moment, right? We're in the middle of the ocean, right, with a few other guys in a boat, right? In the boats back then. We're in a boat. And as I said, we're buffeted by the waves. There is a storm. We're in the middle of a storm, and the waves are controlling the boat. We can't get anywhere. We're buffeted by the waves. And it's before dawn. So it's nighttime. I'm in the middle of a storm. I can't see anything. I can't go anywhere. I'm just here. And then you see somebody walking on the water. You see a figure walking towards you on the water. It's before dawn. You see a figure walking towards you. What's the first thing you gonna do? You gotta say, "Hey, it's a ghost." You see what they said? They said, "Hey, it's a ghost." And Jesus said, "No, it is me." Still, you're only hearing it. You can't really see clearly what's there. You only see somebody saying, it's me, it's Jesus. So, and then Peter said, okay, if it's really you, tell me to come out there. Tell me to get outside my boat in the middle of a storm and come to you if it's really you, Jesus. We just seen you feed all those people from a few slices of bread. Tell me to come out there to you. He said, "Come." So guess what Peter did? You right? Okay. Oh, okay. So it's really you. I hear your voice. I don't really see you. I see a figure. It can't be you standing on the water, but it sounds like you. So I'm gonna go. Right? It makes no sense to me. My own understanding doesn't understand this person standing on the water calling after me. But I'm going to go. It said he stepped outside the boat and he began to actually walk on the water. As he was walking on the water, it said he turned his attention away from God and started to look at the storm. The storm was always there. Just like in our lives, the storm is always there. But when we take our eyes off of God, then that's when we start to sink within our lives. Just like when he started to sink. And he said, "Lord, help me, Lord, help me." When we take our eyes off God and things go well, we say, "Oh, Lord, help me, Lord, help me." We call back for help. And he says, "Well, why did you doubt me? Why did you take your eyes off of me? Why did you take your eyes off of me in the first place? You could have been walking on the water doing it in the midst of a storm, but you started to turn your attention away from me to the storm." Now you might be asking me, "Okay, Joshua, okay, nice Bible study, but how does this relate to your trading?" Now, in the way it relates to your trading is, let's use metaphorically speaking right now, right? We know Jesus liked to speak in parables. So let's speak in a parable sense right now. Let's say that your system in this situation is keeping your eyes on your system, right? Keeping your eyes on the system in the midst of different market structures, in the midst of different emotional struggles, in the midst of different life problems. Keeping your eye on your strategy, right? Because it is your God-given strategy. It is wisdom that God has given to you to steward to get to the land of prosperity. Stepping out of your comfort zone onto the boats. God, if this is really what you asked me to do, if you have really called for me to trade, then call and tell me to come to you. God has already told you to come here. God has already called you. You already know you've already got the calling. Trust in the strategy he has given you. Don't detour from it and start looking at different market structures. Don't detour from it and start paying attention and answering to your emotions that are going on right now. You need to keep your eyes on God so that he can take care of the storms. He can take care of your emotions. He can take care of your personal battles. He can take care of your financial worries. But it's when we take our eyes off of God and start putting it to the circumstances, that is when we start to sink. That is when our trading starts to go bad. When we take our eyes off of our system and we start looking at our emotions and we start looking at different people's their strategies, and we start looking at their trades, their P&Ls. We start taking our eyes off of the things of God and we start looking at our timelines instead of what God's timeline is. So step out of your boats. Step out of your boats of comfortability, looking at God calling you. He's standing in the sea of unknowingness, calling you to pull you to the land of prosperity. Step out of your boats. Step out of your boat. Step out of your boat, but once you step out of your boat, you have to know that you have to continue to have 100% faith in God. Once you step out of your boat and you're in the unknowingness season, you have to continue to have faith within God. Because if you take your eyes off, you'll start sinking. If you take your eyes off in the mix of the storm, it'll swallow you up. Keep following him. He won't steer you wrong. He won't lead you down the wrong path. When you lean into your understanding, you'll be led down the wrong path. But when you follow after God, when you follow after his wisdom, the wisdom he's given you in the markets, when you follow after that, follow after your system, be devoted to that because God has given you to that. Your system is not above God, but your God has given you the system. So be like Peter. Step out of your boats, but be better than Peter. Because keep your eyes on God and he'll take you to where you have to go. The only way to get to the land of prosperity is by going through the sea of unknowingness. And the only way to get through that sea is with God on your side. Because he's the only one who knows the sea. Because he created all. We don't know. It's called the sea of unknowingness because humans don't know. And we have to rely on God to get us through, not our own understanding. That's why the Bible has told us multiple times, do not rely on your own understanding and have faith within the Lord. So when people say, I don't really know what's going on, good. Good. Because living a faithful life means not really knowing what the end result is going to be, but you know what you need to do and what your responsibility and what your duty is. God tells us what we need to prioritize and what we need to do. The devil continues to keep us prioritized on what would happen to us if we do it. We start doubting, we start worrying, we start questioning God instead of having faith that he already knows our best interests. So step out of your boats. Step out of your boats. But when you step out of your boats, have faith and not fear. Have faith that your system will get you there. Start scaling up. Have faith that your system will get you there. Trade more. And have faith that your system will get you there. Detach from the finances. Have faith that your system will get you there. Take that loss. Have faith that your system will get you there. Take a day off. Have faith that your system will get you there. Have faith. Don't have fear. When you have fear, that when we serve an abundant God, having fear is useless, because having fear on these things like here that affect our emotions. So they're really not fear, it's really anxiety, because it's really not anything that physically harms us. It's something that we perceive will harm us. It's anxiety. So having anxiety about the future, about the past, about the present is actually you telling God that I don't trust that you will work this out. Worrying about something in your life is directly you telling God that I don't trust your plan. I'm going to worry about it because I don't trust that you know what you're doing. Tell him that. Tell him that. God, I don't know what you're doing, so I'm going to worry. I'm going to worry. You tell me don't worry, but pish posh, I have to worry. Because how are you going to work this out? How are you going to work this out? That's when we're living a life of fear and we're basing our emotions off the circumstances that we can see with our own human eyes. We shut ourselves off from faith, because faith is believing in the unknown. Fear is believing in what you're seeing. So I want to say this to you guys today. Trade from faith in a sense of knowing that the plan that God has for you will work out in the long run. Having a plan on the downside when you're in a losing trade. Letting go of it fast, because you know that I trust my system enough to know that I can make another winner. Right? Holding a trade a winning trade, because I trust my system that, this is the way it's going. While having, safeguards, moving your stop loss up or whatever like that. But having faith to hold longer and having faith to cut losers faster and be detached, because being attached to your trading and being attached to your results and always feeling like a winning day makes you happy and a losing day makes you sad puts you in the mindset of fear, because you are looking at circumstances. You are basing your circumstances on your emotions, or you're basing your emotions on your circumstances instead of God. Instead of you controlling your body, you're letting your body control your actions. So again, I hope all of you guys have a blessed day, and you guys go and read about Peter and read about Jesus and the disciples. You read it. And like I said, this was Matthew 14 and 22. Go read it for yourself. And yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Keep on trading. Hey, it's only up from here. It's only up from here, man. I'm excited to see what God had for you. I'm going to see this out, what God had for me, for us, for the disciplined family. Let's continue spreading God within the world of trading. You already know I love you. You know God loves you. Now let's keep on grinding, baby. Boom!